Just change that out. Where's my balls? That's what she said. I heard you say that on the TV screen. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Alright, let's go into the basement and snoop around, talk about what's been going on in Shenanigander Land. I have been busy doing some stuff and things, and I haven't really documented a whole lot of it because I just kind of felt like I was falling behind and I really needed to bear down and just spend some time getting caught up, which I did yesterday, a whole bunch of catching up. I was down in the basement. I stole a lamp socket from this guy. It's come in handy a few times. Just kind of getting organized and tidied up and a bunch of loose ends dealt with. So let's try and take it from the top. What's been going on? So I kind of sort of wrapped up my Viper project, but it's not really wrapped up yet. So this is not really going to be a Viper episode, although there's been stuff done to it. It's just going to be some random rogue, what the heck's been going on in the basement episode, and other things. So let's see. So Jay, the neighbor, and I, last Wednesday, we moved this Batman Dark Knight into the games room, and as you can see, it's still sitting here, and it is now Tuesday, so a week. Been sitting right in that spot. And then the very same day, I went and I picked up a taxi. It was a good deal, and I had to go jump on it. So that happened. And then the guy had 3 other pinball machines. And if you've been following along, you kind of know the end of the story. He wanted a little bit more money for those ones than I really wanted to pay. But after I brought the taxi back, dropped it off at storage, I messaged with the guy, and we ended up closing a deal for the other 3 machines. So the very next day, I took 2 more trips to grab the other 3 machines and bring them over to storage. So I moved 5 machines, including Dark Knight, in a matter of 48 hours. So that kept me a little bit occupied, and I did document the pickup, so just look back on my last video or 2 and you will see that. So then I think it was the next day, I went over to storage and I set up the solenoid, and I spent a bunch of time on it, just going over every switch, I thought maybe I'll just walk around aimlessly and show off different things while I'm telling this story. There's my degenerate hack award. These Playboy glasses Mark and City gave me after I had shopped up my Playboy, my Stern, was it my Stern Playboy? Yeah, I think it was my Stern Playboy. Anyway, so I spent some time working on the solenoid. I checked every switch, every solenoid, the displays, the boards. Well, actually it had a Pascal all-in-one board in the back, so that was nice. That replaces your power supply, replaces your CPU, it replaces your driver board. So that Pascal all-in-one board is awesome. I even have one here. Back when I was doing black hole stuff, I got so much crap I've got to figure out what to do with. At one point I thought I was going to restore like 4 black holes, so I had Brent restore all these boards, and I didn't end up doing them all. So I've got some freshly, maybe not freshly, but shopped up and serviced boards for Gottlieb System 80. This is a flip Pascal board, but this is the Gottlieb System 80 variety. The one for your solenoid is a little longer and skinnier. Anyway, now that I've got all somewhat organized, I'm making a mess again. So I spent some time on the solenoid, and then I went back the next day to storage, did some more things to the solenoid, and got it all up and running, and it's playing good. And then I posted that for sale, and got a couple nibbles so far, but nothing quite locked up just yet. Then I think it was maybe the next day or the day after, I went and started setting up the Supersonic storage as well. It's a garage. I've got power there, so it's nice. I've got no stairs that I have to deal with. And so I got that to the point where it was working, and then all of a sudden it wasn't working. And it has an all-tech MPU in there. So, and it also has a brand new power supply. And then the red over voltage light came on the all-tech MPU. So I knew that almost certainly it was going to be the high voltage section of the solenoid driver board. And that is this guy right here. So this is what came out of Supersonic. So sure enough, I brought it home, and then last night, this is part of the stuff that I did last night, I knew I needed to rebuild this board. So I got I'm working on too many things at once, basically, so I'm at a point where I'm kind of caught up-ish, so I'm happy about that. But the high voltage section, you got two test points here. One's supposed to be 180 volts, one's supposed to be 240 volts, give or take. Where's the other test point? One is there. One test point is there, and the other test point is there. I forget what numbers they actually are. Let's see, test point 2 and test point 4, perhaps. Those both had the same voltage, which means that one or most or all of these three transistors have gone bad. So once you have the same voltage at both those test points, which in my case was like, 240 volts, then you gotta replace, I replaced all three transistors, this guy, and this guy. And then I replaced the high voltage capacitor. I replaced this resistor, which was in real rough shape. It was like two resistors twisted together and some sort of goop to hold them together. I don't even know if it was solder. And they were toasty. So I replaced that. Then I reflowed all the headers. And then I added the little ground modifications. So that guy there, I tied test point 1 and 3 together. That's another recommended mod. And then this ground mod as well. So I did all that, popped this guy into Viper, and it worked like a charm. So this is ready to go over to Supersonic at storage. And then I have this Bally lamp driver that I'm going to bring over there just in case there's any SCRs that are not good on the Supersonic lamp driver. So I'll bring this over there. But if you've been watching my Viper series, I've had an issue with my solenoid driver board that was in it. This is the one. It's a little bit of a different layout than just the standard Stern SDU-100, and definitely a little different than the Bally solenoid driver, but they all effectively do the same thing. They're very interchangeable. For whatever reason, I had Brent shop this up. I stuck it in my Viper, and when the high score to date shows, the speaker was emitting a horrible sound. And that was annoying. So I sent it back to Brent, and he said, well, he had to replace one of the resistors. It's this guy here. He said those had gone open for some reason, and so he replaced those, sent it back. I popped it in, and then I discovered the audio issue. So I was gonna just leave my All-Tech solenoid driver, which is right here. When this was installed, no audio problems. So I was going to leave this and this All-Tech or Weebly MPU in my Viper, but I decided, you know what, if I can restore another solenoid driver board and stick it in my Viper, then I get to keep my All-Tech board, which is what I wanted to do. And also, by having an original solenoid driver installed into Viper, I can now install the original MPU, because original MPU and All-Tech driver board are not compatible. That's something I learned during my Viper fun. So I'll show you some of the damage here. This is from 2 different solenoid driver boards that I was working on. This guy, and then, you know, here's some of these transistors, the 3 for Supersonic, and yeah, where's that other resistor? This was the resistor that was, these 2 were tied together by that little black goop. And they tested close. They tested 20 ohms, but they're supposed to be 22. And I managed to find a 22 ohm resistor in my stash by some small miracle. So I rebuilt the second solenoid driver board. It's also last night. Here it is. Someone had done some work on this board before and wrote that it was okay as of November, and then maybe okay November, no, it was okay December 2015, and then maybe they retested November 2019 and deemed it was still okay. They did this, you know, some transistor must have blew up, changed that resistor, probably changed that diode, but it basically tested fine. Voltages were okay. But I went ahead and I changed the high voltage filter capacitor, reflowed headers, added I think 1 ground mod was missing. And now, with this solenoid driver installed, I did not have any audio issues with the high score to date. So at that point, I thought it was time to install the shopped up original Viper MPU. And I'm happy, finally very happy to report that with these original boards installed, everything is finally working as it should, except for, you know, the turret. It doesn't always find home. But I did play like maybe 10 test games yesterday, and that turret was working surprisingly well. So I'm very happy with that. I'm not counting on it to work perfectly every time, but it worked pretty good. Every once in a while, the first time you land it into the turret, sometimes you can't go in reverse. But the very next time it goes in there, you can go in reverse. So that's just a weird glitch. But doesn't concern me all that much. I usually just go clockwise anyways, because it's just, there's way more targets here to hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You go counterclockwise, you're only really going for these 2 targets. So I'm starting to figure out the rules. I'm going to do a gameplay video at some point. Which reminds me that now that these boards are good and tested. I've got one more screw to install there in the MPU. Another savvy Shenanigander said, "Mike, you're killing me. You got a digit out on player 4 display." And sure enough, I checked, and this digit was out. It's not going to show very well on the camera. And then later, I checked, and the digit was back. So I thought I either need to reflow those headers or deal with some connector issue stuff here. And then I noticed my past self did future self a favor and wrote down reflowed 2025. So I knew that wasn't likely to be the issue. So I pulled off this connector and well, actually what I did was sort of wiggle each wire around, and I could get to a point where if I wiggled this yellow wire, the digit would come on and off. Hopefully I can't replicate that anymore. So I repinned the yellow connector and then did the test again, and I could make the digit disappear still. So if you can see right in here, all these, it's kind of hard to see, but on that connector there's some black marks that I put on with a Sharpie. Those are all the connectors I repinned because they were some of them had some green corrosion-y fuzz on them. I threw them in this general direction. Don't know if any landed. Oh, here we go. Actually, in the garbage or not. Nope, doesn't look like it. They're all here. Let's see. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Well, those were not as bad as the other ones, but there was a few had some corrosion. I repinned those like 7 connectors or whatever it was, and happy to report my displays are maybe finally once and for all working perfectly. Hey, that's lamp test. Hey fellow Shenaniganders, if you are enjoying what you are seeing, why don't you click on these 3 dots at the bottom of any video and then find this heart, click on that, and hey, look at this, you can buy me a beer. You can use the slider to buy me 500 beers if you really like, but this is a way you can send thanks, and I very much appreciate your support. If you do so, your comment will be highlighted, and also I will give you a shout out. So thank you for all your support. Of course, it's going to show all weird through the camera, but trust me, right now things are perfect with the displays. They're beautiful. No measles, no black marks, no burn marks. It is the displays are very happy right now. Okay, let's what did I do after that? Oh, okay, I forgot to mention that Supersonic also had a display with a missing digit. So that is this guy here. Actually, it's not this guy. This is a display I pulled out of my good pile. I plugged it in, deemed that it was in fact good, and I said I'm going to bring that over to Supersonic, stick that in there, and then Supersonic should be good to go. But then I thought, well, let me see if I can repair this display. And here it is here. Good. This is my current self referring to my future self. Oh, I gotta change my dehumidifier. It is so effing hot and humid. It is a heat warning for this whole week. It is deadly out there. In terms of Celsius, it feels like 45, which is, I don't know, it feels like desert temperature. Anyway, this digit here was missing, and usually if you have a digit missing, first thing you do is reflow the headers, which I did. Still was missing, but then there's these resistors here. Are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and maybe 11. Those are, each resistor represents one digit. So I ran my multimeter on them all. Sure enough, I found that R7 tested bad. So I just stuck in another resistor, which I happen to have in stock. They do recommend going with a beefier resistor, like a full watt instead of a half watt. They resist heat better. And but I didn't have any, so I just went with the half watt. I gotta take a phone call. I will be right back. Okay, that was the wife. We're going over to her parents after, and she's already there. And I gotta bring the whipped cream because she forgot to bring it. Anyway, yeah, I gotta deal with this. I can't do this one-handed while talking, or can I? All right, let's do it. Let's empty the dehumidifier together. Okay, so replaced. Oh, there's the wife. What's she saying? I don't know. She's texting me now. Replaced the resistor, got that display up and running, so I stuck that in my good box. So I've got a few good displays for future projects. So I was on a tear yesterday, like rebuilt 2 solenoid driver boards successfully, repaired a display, installed the driver board and MPU into Viper, and found no issues. It was working good. Played a bunch of test games. I did replace one lamp socket, like I mentioned, that I stole from spring break. This one bulb was being a little stubborn, so I just changed that out. Where's my balls? That's what she said. I heard you say that on the TV screen. Let me grab a ball here and give you a demonstration. Oh man, that is not comfortable. Found a new issue. Actually, Jamie came down to do something. Put something in the fridge, and she played a quick test game, and that happened. There is just a little bit of the divot here where the paint's kind of worn down, so I have to lower the turret just a tiny bit. Oh, there's my spare ball. I thought I had one somewhere more convenient than that. So, you know, there's still some tweaking and dialing in and fine-tuning going on here, and eventually a gameplay video. You know what's cool about this game that I found out is that each spin scores flashing light value times multiplier. So if you're at 140 or 160, that is going to be 160 points per spin times whatever multiplier, times 9. You do the math. 9 times 160? I don't know. Let's do the math. I don't have a calculator. Let's go old school. 160 times 9. Man, I haven't done this. So how do you do this again? 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 6, what is that? 54 or something like that? 9 times 1 is 9 plus 5 is 14. Is that actually right? 1440? If not, I'm going to be like very embarrassed at my math skills. But oh well. That's how we roll on Pinball Shenanigans. So, not only is your spinner value multiplied, everything on the playfield, bonus multipliers plus all values on playfield are multiplied by the bonus multiplier. I was rolling down the in lane and I saw my score just go crazy. I'm like, what is wrong? Then I realized that I was at like 6x and getting 3,000 points. So 18,000 points for a rollover. So this game got my interest. And also, once I installed the MPU, the original one, these lights started doing things. And, you know, something like if you hit all 4 of these lights, I think they're just kind of like forever rotating. let's turn it on and see. Let's try and demonstrate and figure this out while we're here. But I think the rules say lighting 4 small amber lights on the upper left and right drop target bank lights the large amber light on the right drop target bank. Hitting the target awards extra ball. When I had the Alltech MPU in there, those lights weren't doing anything. Maybe because I had the setting for extra ball off or something, but as you can see, these are just rotating. So you do gotta time these fudgers. Oh, it's hard to even time it manually. Oh, now I gotta reset the drop target bank to have a chance. And now. What? And now. That was too early. There we go. Shut up. Okay, let's try this other guy. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, I missed it. Okay, I got it. I thought I missed it physically with my finger. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2. What is going on with this guy? No, that was way too early. Right. Oh, what? Okay. That didn't seem to make any sense. But finally, that's what lights the extra ball. Now let's see. I'm at, see what I mean? I'm at like 11,300. And I was getting 18,000 just for a rollover on my bottom lane because of the multiplier rule. So let's see what happens if I do hit extra ball. I've got 59 credits, which I didn't even know was a thing that you could get that many credits. So extra ball gave me 100 points and no credits. So it doesn't say same player shoot again. Do I get hit all 3? Oh, there it is. Get hit all 3. Did it say that? Hitting targets awards extra ball. Yes. Okay. Just got to learn how to read. So now we know how that works. Let's see if my turret will go counterclockwise in the first shot. See? No, it's not going. But look at that. Turret returned home. Pretty happy about that. Let's plunge into the turret, and now I'll show you how it will go counterclockwise. Ready? And here we go. Go figure. Does it make any sense? No. Does it need to? Not really. Oh, I should see what the wife texted me. I'll be right back. She just texted saying, don't forget the whipped cream. But anyway, I think that covers everything I've been up to. So the next thing I'm going to do, probably, well, I guess I might have some time to fart around tonight. Be really nice to maybe finish up with the Viking gameplay video and final tweaks. Then perhaps move this beside Quicksilver. Did I tell you I listed Quicksilver for sale? If you want to buy a beautiful Quicksilver, this could be your opportunity. But, you know, I don't necessarily want to sell anything down here, but if I want to keep the fun moving in and out, then it's got to happen. So it'd be nice to get Viper here. And then I can bring in Batman Dark Knight into the back room and start giving that a shop job. I'm very excited about that. So that's sort of the plan. Maybe tonight, if I have time, I'll work on the final tweaks and gameplay video. And I can get that ball rolling. Tomorrow, I'll head over to Supersonic and try and get that 100% and listed. I'm not planning on bringing Supersonic or Solo Ride or Bally Freedom into the basement. Those are just going to be fix 'em and flip 'ems over at the storage unit. Taxi might be a different story, though. That may come down here. I'm not really sure yet, but obviously the next game in the queue is Batman, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's what's been going on, and you know, stay tuned for more shenanigans. We'll talk to you later. Okay, one last thing. Wait, I should get the tripod for this. Okay, in a previous episode of Viper, I went to McDonald's, I got a kid's meal because it's a good deal, and they gave me a toy, and I unwrapped this toy. I thought it would be fun just to be silly and add another potential mascot to the channel. But you know what? Pineapple Shenanigans is the mascot and will be forever. Especially since I discovered an old photo from when I went to BC of me going to a store called Shenanigans, and their mascot was a friggin' pineapple. How randomly crazy is that? So, Mr. Pineapple, you will be the one and only mascot, don't you worry. But this guy joined the show in one of the episodes of Viper, and I thought, oh, maybe it'll be fun to, like, open up more of these squishmallow guys on different episodes of Viper. But it just didn't really happen. We got cute little, what is this? Junie. Junie loves planning events like family reunions and barbecues. So yeah, this idea never really formulated and never really took off. But I went to McDonald's, got another kid's meal. We got another Squishmallow. We're just gonna bust open all these suckers right now for your viewing pleasures. Rossi is a professional closet organizer. There's a lot of these stupid things. This one, I kind of jumped the gun and already opened. I don't know if this is an avocado. It's Charles. Charles is always doodling in his sketchbook. And I think that's it. Wait. Hold on. These guys are kind of cute, you gotta admit. But this is Pinball Shenanigans, not Squishmallow Shenanigans. Oh, did I open that without you there? How dare I? Let's pretend you didn't see that. Alright, we got this guy. It is, oh, little kitty cat. Cam loves to build forts and go to the beach. Now, that's pretty adorable. Derek Fugatti would love this. I should send that to him. He loves his kitty cats. So, we've got a 5-pack. There's probably like 12 of these guys or something, but the promotion is over. These guys are cute. I don't know what the hell I'll do with them. Maybe I'll stuff them somewhere. They don't really belong. But I did go get one more kids meal 2 days ago. And now I got Shadow Red Roller Sonic 3. Now Sonic 3 is cool because who doesn't love Sonic? So I'm going to unbox this last thing. See what it is. And then get back to the actual pinball portion of the channel. This is looking kind of cool though. So Sonic, yellow Sonic? It must sit in here somehow. You know, I could probably just do an unboxing video of this stupid thing. Just a standalone video on the channel. Post it to the YouTubes and probably get like more hits than any one of my normal videos. It looks like, here we go. There. And then he just goes for a roll like this. Yep. There you have it. All right. Yeah, I can finally get all this crap off my desk now.